More than 600,000 people go missing in the United States every year, and sadly many will likely remain unsolved. But this year there were a few cases that finally got some resolution, some of them decades later. Today we are going to look at 5 more missing persons cases that were solved in 2021. This is part 2 of the video that I put out the other day. 4-year-old Cleo Smith disappeared from Western Australia on October 16, 2021. She disappeared from a campsite in the Gascoyne region, where she was camping with her family. The family arrived at the campsite around 6:30 p.m. on October 15. Around 8 p.m. Cleo went to bed inside the family tent, and woke up around 1:30 a.m. asking for water. After being given a drink she went back to sleep. When the family woke up at 6 a.m. on October 16, they discovered both Cleo and her sleeping bag missing and the tent door open. At 6:23 a.m. the police were notified of Cleo's disappearance, and extensive searches began with the aid of more than 100 officers. Police also began compiling a list of people who had been at the campsite, though it proved a challenge as there were no sign-in requirements. On October 21 they announced that Cleo's case was being treated as an abduction, and offered a $1 million reward for anyone with information in her case. On November 3, 2021, 18 days after she went missing, Cleo was found alive and well by police inside a locked house near her family home in Carnarvon. She was reunited with her family the same day. A 36-year-old man, Terrence Darrell Kelly, was subsequently taken into custody after his car was pulled over by police. The break in the case came after police traced a mobile phone number belonging to Kelly to a phone tower near the campsite around the time of Cleo's abduction. On the 4th of November 2021, police charged Kelly with forcibly taking a child under 16. Kelly did not apply for bail, and the matter returned to court on January 24, 2022. Another missing persons case that was solved in 2021 is that of Raymond Jones, more than 50 years after he went missing. 39-year-old Raymond Jones disappeared from the Hayden Creek area of Idaho on September 7, 1968. His son Jeffrey vividly remembers the moment he learned his father was missing, even though it was over 5 decades ago. He was with his mother in Montana, celebrating his 12th birthday when they received a call from 2 uncles saying his father had disappeared while hunting. 2 days later a birthday card for Jeffrey arrived in the mail, sent by his father before he left on his hunting trip. In September 2021, 3 days after Jeffrey's 65th birthday, and more than 50 years after his father's disappearance, a bow hunter went out to the same area Raymond disappeared from and made a shocking discovery. While searching for a shortcut, the bow hunter unexpectedly discovered some skeletal remains, along with a wallet and boot. The remains were identified as Raymond Jones with the help of his still intact wallet, and his family was notified. Jeffrey traveled from his home in Billings to Salmon to collect his father's remains, and took them to Miles City, Montana, to be buried next to Raymond's parents. 22-year-old Taisha Bell disappeared from her Chicago, Illinois home in the 800 block of North Randall Road on May 10, 2003. Her sister, whom she lived with, told investigators that Taisha had received a mysterious phone call right before she stepped outside her home. Taisha never returned home, and hasn't been heard from since. From the beginning foul play was suspected in her disappearance. Authorities believe Taisha had every intention of returning home, as she had left her 2 daughters inside, as well as all of her personal belongings. It was reported that a person of interest in her disappearance was questioned by police in 2004, but no arrests have been made, nor has anyone been publicly named a suspect. In December 2020, human remains, as well as clothes and a few personal items, were found in a shallow grave in a wooded area of Kane County. In March of 2021 the remains were identified as Taisha Bell through the use of dental records and DNA. It remains unclear how she died, but her disappearance has now become a homicide investigation. Anyone with information regarding Taisha Bell's disappearance is urged to contact the Aurora Police tip line at 630-256-5517. 31-year-old British actress Tanya was reported missing from Los Angeles, California on September 9, 2021. Tanya was last seen leaving her Hollywood Bowl apartment around 10 p.m. without her phone or purse, and was later reported missing by a friend. On September 13, 2021, police were notified that Tanya had been found safe, and that her family had been notified. Authorities said there is no criminal investigation or foul play suspected in her disappearance. Due to privacy concerns, no further details were made available. 22-year-old Gabby Petito was reported missing by her mother on September 11, 2021. On July 2, 2021, Gabby embarked on a cross-country journey with her fiancé Brian Laundrie. The trip was planned to last 4 months, however, she disappeared in late August. They planned to travel in Gabby's white Ford van to the West Coast and visit state and national parks across the western United States. However, in early September, Laundrie raised suspicion when he drove Gabby's van back from Wyoming to his parents' house in Florida without her, and refused to talk about her whereabouts. Laundrie arrived back in Florida in early September, without Gabby, and without an explanation as to her whereabouts. Authorities were watching the Laundrie home, and saw Brian leave on September 13. On September 15 they saw his car return, and believed the person who exited the car and entered back into the home was Brian. On September 15, Laundrie was officially named a person of interest in Gabby's disappearance. On September 17, Brian's parents said he was missing, and that they had not seen him since September 13. At this point the police realized the person they had seen exiting Brian's car on the 15th was his mother, not Brian. Police obtained search warrants and seized the vehicle, an external hard drive, and the family's Ford Mustang. It was later discovered that police in Moab, Utah had encountered Gabby and Brian on August 12, after a caller reported seeing the gentleman was slapping the girl. The caller told the dispatcher they saw a man slap a woman, and after the two ran up and down the sidewalk, the man hit the woman again and drove off. Police interviewed Gabby and Brian, but no charges were filed, with the officer suggesting the pair separate for the evening. On September 19, 2021, human remains were found at a camping area just outside Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming. The remains were positively identified as belonging to Gabby, and her cause of death was found to be strangulation. On October 20, Laundrie's skeletal remains along with some of his belongings were found in Florida's Carlton Reserve. On November 23 it was announced that he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I know there is much more info in this case as more of this story had unfolded, but this is the info I came across. There are many articles and YouTube videos on this story, so if you would like to check out more, just search her name and I am sure you will come across many more articles. Those were 5 missing persons cases that were solved in 2021. I know there were many more. Those will be for future videos. Thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you enjoyed the content, consider giving the channel a subscription. I am moving my studio around this weekend, so hopefully, I will no longer need to use this text-to-speech program. I do appreciate your patience and dealing with listening to the AI narrate the video. Until next time.